Courtney crawled ahead slowly but surely in the enclosed space. The plastic tunnels were lined with a thick padding, making it had to move on the cushiony surface. The extremely bulky diapers she was wearing made it hard to move as well, their load constantly shifting to crazy angles as she shuffled her legs along. Courtney's mind kept drifting back to how extremely uncomfortable her diapers had become, and she wasn't really paying attention to where she was going. She hardly noticed the large opening she was crawling towards, and shrieked as she fell downwards. Her fall lasted all of a second. She landed with a loud splash, echoing through the confining tubes and tunnels. She jerked up quickly, pulling her face out of the water she had landed in. She had landed face down, and her diapers were quickly soaking up all the water they could hold. She swore softly, and pulled herself up the ladder that stuck into the hole she was in. Water trailed behind her, pouring out of her super-saturated diapers. She looked at the intersection she had come to at the top, and selected a direction to crawl in. She set off, determined to find some of the playground balls and get out of the structure as quickly as possible. Tiffany looked at all of the stuff that was lying on the floor of the room she was standing in. There was all kinds of baby paraphernalia everywhere. Diapers, rompers, blankets, pacifiers, plastic panties, bottles, food, everything a baby could need. She moved across the room, diapers making a slight plastic rustle as she went. She stepped on a toy as she went over, the object producing a crude fart noise. Her face went blank momentarily as the hypnosis training took over, and she began to poop her diapers again. Her awareness returned just as quickly as it had gone, so she could endure the humiliation of dirtying herself yet again. It seemed to last forever, coming out in long diarrhea like squirts. Tiffany felt that her diapers were twice as heavy and loaded now, from one simple sound. "We'll get you back, Melanie," she thought angrily. She continued walking over to the pacifier, bending over to pick it up. The newly made mess shifted all to the front of her diapers with her change of orientation, making a sick sound as it did so. She farted as she stood back upright again, a sort of gurgling noise in the large space. Tiffany's mouth opened in shock as she began to poop again. Her own farts could make her poop herself. Grace hadn't moved anywhere. The huge diapers she was wearing had stuck to the tube's padded sides and made it extremely difficult to move. She had been able to drag herself all of 5 feet before stopping. She was now working on her diapers, trying to take some of them off so she could move. Her hands kept sliding off their plastic-backed surfaces, allowing her no purchase. One last try, she thought. She reached down, gripping as hard as she could. Her hands slipped away again, but this time with a muffled tear. Grace perked her head up quickly, looking at the small tear she had managed to create in her outermost diaper. If she could get it off, she could probably get out of this thing, and wait for the rest of the girls once they were done. She reached down, ripping harder. The sound repeated itself, with much more pronounced results. The diaper split all the way down through her crotch and was unfolded in 2 parts around her front side. She hastily ripped it off, leaving pieces of it stuck in the diaper pins at her waist. She could move. She shimmied backwards, gasping as she fell out of the tube. She opened her eyes when she noticed she hadn't quite hit the ground. She looked around, seeing her head sticking up out of what resembled the sleeping bags Melanie had secured them in earlier in the day. She tried climbing back up when she detected the threat, only to have her motion checked as the thickly padded bag cinched shut around her. It drew tightly against all parts of her, and dropped from the mouth of the tube. She hit the ground lightly, the fall lessened by the thick bag. She lay squirming on the ground, helpless. She could feel the food they had eaten earlier beginning to work its way to the ends of her digestive tract. "Great," she said out loud.